All right, that says we're good. All right, waiting for Facebook. There we go. All right, good evening, everybody. We are live here. We are in week 2. We've got Ride My Avatar versus Simba. So they are both going to be making their own YouTube videos for this. So I'm going to go ahead and stream it for them so you guys can watch it live. If you have any questions, feel free to throw it over into the chat. And I will do my best to answer them as I see them come in. And yeah, it should be a good show. So you guys, whenever y'all are ready. All right. So looks like we got Simba on the right here running the Chrism. And I keep unmuting myself there. Let's go ahead and minimize that. All right. Can you guys hear me? No? Yes? Maybe? Cool. All right. Finally. Oop. Why is it just minimizing? Correct. Yeah, you'll mulligan first, and then you'll kick the field. 7. All right. Correct, yeah. Oh, sorry, mulligan shuffle. Sorry, my dog is barking. It's throwing me off. All right, so at the moment, I'm listening to them just in case they need me for anything. But yeah, so Simba here is got Chrism, just a big old powerhouse beefcake, and the Trossum here to help keep his stuff protected. And similar fields here, we've got double Highwind Fall, and then Crag for Ride My Avatar, and then Windy Plateau here for Simba. So both being Might decks, this makes a lot of sense. 13. Yep. And then Ride My Avatar, he's rocking the Kindolf, my boy, my favorite familiar. Can get powered up just as high as the Chrism pretty quickly. But that draw is so clutch, I think. Especially in Might, that doesn't have a ton of draw. Especially when you combine it with Ferocity here in the form of the Rapture is what he's taking to kind of keep the board cleared. Rapture into Trossum, really good because you can eat those mirror images constantly and keep them off of using their Unity tactics. All right, just getting everything set up there for them. All right, so Simba's field was kicked. Double High Wind Falls. Okay. Given they're both might decks, it could go either way real easily. So kind of curious to see what we have. Yeah, so keeping Simba off the Unity Tactics, probably a good idea here. Go ahead and pull up their deck list right quick so I can see them on the side. I don't think I've looked at Simba's in a minute, so there they are. All right, there he is, Simba. Boom, right there. Yeah, he's running double Unity Tactics. Yep. Oh, it doesn't go for the Chrism into the Crag. Interesting. Usually, like, Chrism and Crag is so strong. Oh, Kyle not doing it either? Interesting. Surprised he wants the Kindolf to go head-to-head with the Chrism. Especially in round 1. Unless he's got a good grip. Like, he's got the Sylph Amulet, so he can easily move the Kindolf wherever he wants. Side, left or right, depending on what's drawn. So, now that I see it, yeah, that's probably a solid grab there. Yeah, that Sylph Amulet is so good. With Might and your familiars being so big, it's really good. Yep, and Rapture goes in nom nom noms. Yep, pretty standard play there. I feel like we'll be seeing a lot of that every single round, so it'll be pretty good. And Simba not having a resource, that's gotta be a little scary there. But looking at his deck, he only has 2 different cards. He's got the Hat and Shaper Magic. Did forget to grab his extra card there, so needs to go ahead and grab that. So yeah, looking at his deck list, he's got some pretty standard stuff, some standard Might stuff. Correct. You're good. Yep. No. You only draw at the beginning of the round, and round 1 is when the first player gets the 1 bonus card. All right, helping them out a little bit there. All right. Let's see. And Simba's got a good amount of like VP scoring in his tactics side. So his deck looks a lot like a deck I would play, a Might Tactics deck. So okay, and then looking at Ride My Avatar, his Might stuff. Nope, you're good right now. And then looking over at his Ferocity stuff. Oh, we're flipping. What are we getting? Everything is in play. There we go. That's what those Might players like to see, right? An absolute bloodbath. All right, and then yeah, Rapture. He's got the Amptar to kind of go with that. He's got the Gel Ice there. Kind of. Oh, he's got the Aguada as well. So if he can get the Aguada on field and start eating up with the Rapture, it'll be really good. So he's playing out a Terror Chick going first here. Debut, give another friendly creature block, and he has Guardian. So giving it to the Trossum there. I mean, not a terrible move if he doesn't have anything else. And then that he can't play the Terror Chick over there to the Trossum to protect it, so it's just going to give it the block. It just, the only drawback is when it retreats to the bench this round and comes back out next round, it won't have the block anymore. So that's a bit, you lose out on a little bit of value there, assuming your opponent doesn't have a way to deal with it. And it being a Might Ferocity deck, nothing really comes to mind right off that would, handle that super efficiently. Like, he could do like a momentum shift, but momentum shift just to remove a creature, a familiar, and not like actually steal any power, like that's a feels bad. Alright, so Run My Avatar is up here. I feel like the Sylph Amulet to move Kindolf over to the Crag now, like, is a safe play. Because he's got 10 power on their side and you're at 6. Alright, so he's going for a 2-coster here. Is it a Tortu? Oh, Warder. Okay. No debut effects or ongoings. I don't know. I mean, not a ton of value here, but then KO, give a friendly creature in the field Warder was in +2. You don't want to intentionally KO your Warder just for a +2, because then you're losing 3. Guardian. So, nope. Yeah. Yeah. Has to hit the Terror Chick there because of that Guardian. So, I mean, that's a good place to put it. Because he's not playing anything to the 1 field because it's 2 cost or less. Can't be played there. So, round 1, pretty much nobody's playing in the Crag. But here, so doing the Sylph Amulet. And yeah, move the Kindolf up there. So, yeah, using the Amulet there to move it up. So now it's 1 power over the Trossum. I think I would have put the Warder in field 3, though, just to give the Rapture a little bit of backup, but that's me. Let's see. Looking at his list. The Sylphunk is a really interesting one because of, like, the skills. But I think, yeah, there's more items. Yeah, if it was just, like, Tamer cards in general, sure. But, yeah, it's got to be specifically skills. He's got a lot of items in his deck. Honestly, instead of the Sylphunk, I think our little red panda friend would have been the better choice. But, you gotta figure these things out along the way. And he's got giant growth in the sideboard. I'm pretty sure he said offline that he was going to be sideboarding that in because of it in conjunction with the Kindolf is so strong. Oh, got a Croshan here. So move another ally. If they are friendly, gain 1 VP. So move the Croshan into the Crag. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So now he's at 7 power in that field versus Kindolf 6. And so then he'll gain a VP. So I'm curious of what Ride My Avatar sided out that giant growth for. Like, I'm not even really sure. It could have been literally anything in here. But I think the Sylphunk would make sense to me, just because there's not a ton of skill cards. There's some. Don't get me wrong. There are some. But it just feels like, just at a glance, with the Ooh, okay. So Rad My Avatar going to use his inspiration here and go ahead and move that water up to go ahead and score, help him score that field one, which that's the best time, honestly. Perfect time to help you win the biggest field, and you're not giving up a field in the process. Even better. So absolutely great play there. Good choice. So now he's winning 2 of the 3 fields. So then Simba's got the choice. Does he also want to flip? Which he'd be losing a field to try to prevent a field, which honestly also not a bad decision. You could flip yours, move your Chrism up, and you prevent him entirely from scoring that field. Probably what I would do. Either one. Really, realistically, you should do the Crag, though. He's got 11 power. Oh, he's going for it. Oh, okay. Did not see that one coming, though. I mean, like, almost the same outcome. It's just one less is all. 1 VP less. Which, hey, 1 VP could really matter here. We'll see. All right. Rad Mavhar is going to go ahead and pass. Take the first player token, kicking it back over to Simba. And then Simba will pass as well. All right. So, scoring phase here. Rad My Avatar will score that 4 VP. Field 2, of course. Chrism will grab that easy for 3. And then field 3, he'll score that one as well. So, this looks like it's a 7 versus 5. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, they're tied. So, yeah, they're going over the field. They're both at 5. So, yeah, the 7 versus 5. Yeah, there for a second I thought that Rapture was about to win it by himself, but nope. Did not quite get juiced up enough. So pretty good round for Simba. He got the VP off the Crochet and won 2 of the 3 fields. He could have had one more if he had moved the Chrism. It would just been a lower scoring game is all. It would have been 0 to 6, 7? Oh, same VP? Oh, wow. That can't be right. No, I'd be 1 off, right? Yeah, 8. Yeah, it would have been 0 to 8. Yeah, I think that would have been played. Or am I even doing that right? Yeah. No, we're good. 0 to 8 feels a lot better than 7 to 4. All right, so resource phase. So Kyle, Pride My Avatar, will go first here. I think there's a cat inside my house, one of our outside cats. My dog keeps going crazy. If you hear barking in the background, that's why. Deciding on resources. Ride My Avatar does have a grip of 8 there, so a decent bit to choose from. He's only got, yeah, just a few supports in the deck, so the Fury Potion or his Momentum Shift, like both would be really good for what he has in his current situation, like giving block to either of the familiars to keep them alive because they're kind of his powerhouses, but also the Fury Potion, so that way you could play your Ignition and then KO your Ignition to gain more power and such and so on, or on the Amptar, whatever floats your boat. Going somewhere else with Kendolf here. There we go. Now Chrism's going to go up to the high one, or to the golly, the Crag. Chrism in the Crag, yeah. Rapture, yeah. Rapture gonna eat up some KFC for dinner and gain his plus power. So Rapture starting to get powered up here. It's kind of awkward in that field, though, because then you can't, like, put any of your 1-cost stuff up there. because if it got KO'd in the same field as Rapture, you know, it makes sense. Trossum coming down here, playing a mirror image in the bottom field. A lot of Guardian going on in the Trossum. All right, where are they playing this round? Your call. Player for initiative chooses. So probably the middle field. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. He doesn't have anything there. Makes perfect sense. Let's see what his first play is going to be here. He's got 3 to work with here. He's only got 3 creatures, so I don't see him playing a Volt Rock right now. He can't do the Iguana. He could do a Croc or a Rapture of his own. And let's see, that's tame though, so you'd only get the 1. Yeah, not crazy value. You could hit the Trossum, but the Trossum's in a field that doesn't matter. All right. Ooh, going for the Pakara, the Mike Pakara here. Debut, each other friendly creature in this field gains +1 power. So good for Kindolf. And if it gets KO'd, you can seek 2. If the card you put in your hand matches the style of this card, you may reveal it to gain 1 VP. So that's pretty nice. Again, though, I don't know if you want to like self-mill that or not. Or self-KO, not self-mill. Yeah, self-KO that. Might not be great. Hey, Curtis, welcome back. So, yes, you can. They are recording for their personal channels. So, the player on the left is Ride My Avatar. If you want to give me just a second, I can go ahead and link it in chat. Oh, it would help if I spelled it correctly. There we go. Boom. There's Kyle's, and then Simba. He's got a big presence on TikTok. So his content on his YouTube is a little bit slow to come. If it would pull it up. I'll go the long way then. Go find his video he linked earlier. He did one of our reveals in the past, so. Oh, I hear an Amptar being played. Oh, I see. He played a Drill Attack. Okay. So, and chose to move the Trossum. Perfect, makes sense. Alright, and then he's using the Self Amulet to move to the adjacent field. I'm surprised he... Yeah, so Amptar there. Pretty good if he can get that Self KO on it. There he is. As it pulls it up right there in our face. Yeah, Simba's presence on YouTube is still small. Like I said, he creates a lot of content for TikTok for card games, so that's kind of cool. But both of them will have their videos of this match from their point of views posted onto their YouTube channels later. So I think Kyle's from last week, Ride My Avatars, his is already up. I think he posted it earlier today, I want to say. Yep, 10 hours ago. All right, so where are we at? So we only seen Simba play the drill attack so far. Yep. And he's got field 1 on lock pretty good. Well, not pretty good, but a bit. He's got 2 power over Ride My Avatar. Oh, he's gonna play a Lucky Hat. Okay. So next card, leave this card play. The next card you play from your hand cost -1. Then discard this. So almost like a one-time free resource, so to speak. But the nice thing about the Lucky Hat is you can play it and it takes an action, so you can kind of just wait your opponent out to see what they're going to do. And then Ride My Avatar is doing my favorite play here, Strength Training onto the Kindolf. So give a friendly creature +2. If they're an ally, they gain Guardian, but he's doing it on the Kindolf. So now the Kindolf's ongoing will trigger. If it's a target of Tamer card, it gains +1 power and you draw a card. So that 0 cost Strength Training is going to give +3 power and draw a card. So fantastic little combo there. Can't complain too much about that. That's a pretty great value. So back to Simba. So what's he gonna do with this Lucky Hat? He gonna play a big old 3-coster? So, yeah, he's playing 2. Oh, he's going for the Lunos. Nice. So gets to choose 2 of all out of all this list here. So draw 2, gain 2 power, KO an ally, an opposing ally specifically, and gain block. Oh, okay, gaining the power and then going to KO the Pakera here. And then his Ampar is going to get a little plus power for himself. Good job, Ampar. Look at that big old smiley boy. He's very happy about this. Alright. And so that's got 2 power. And then he's going to get the KO effect off the Pakera. So gets to pick between 2. If he gets a Might card and reveals it, he can gain a VP, which probably a good idea at this point. He is behind, so might not want to. You may have covered this in a different video that I missed, but are you planning on having community Tabletopia tournaments in the future? Yes, we are. So after our Kickstarter goes live, we actually want to alternate between every series because we're doing smaller. We're breaking up our entire set into a series. So every 2 months we'll have a release, and between that we want to have both webcam and a Tabletopia tournaments. So for the general public, for everybody. We're doing this before the campaign for these guys, just to kind of help grow our community a little bit and get the word out there a little bit more. Where are we at on power here? So 5, 6, 8, 14 versus 14. Wow, we're tied. But that Kindolf is huge. He's going to get the extra 3 from the high windfall. Yeah. So it looks like they're splitting fields at the moment. They're both used up all their resources. So yeah, and Curtis, if you haven't watched our series video, you might check that out as well. I'll go ahead and grab it for you. It explains how our series release is going to work. It's only 4 minutes, so easy watch. And boom. There you go. So yeah, both passing here, just splitting the fields 3 and 4. Now they mentioned apparently offline earlier that they want to do a best 2 out of 3 technically we're doing best of one, but they really wanted to do best of three, so I'm curious if they actually do it. Yes, I'm a big fan of the other learning Tabletopia. Yeah, Tabletopia shortcuts for doing things. Yes, both all the mats are great. After playing in the mod with this one here for so long, like seeing it as a two-player mat is pretty cool. But also, I like the one-player ones for like webcam stuff because using a two-player mat for webcam can be a little bit difficult. So yeah, it's very much a torn situation of both are nice and both have their uses. All right, so we're seeing a Rapture come out. He's gonna KO. Probably do the Croshin. He's gonna do the mirror image. I was thinking Croshin just because it's one extra power, but maybe he doesn't want to deal with any sort of discard shenanigans like a Sylph Amulet playing the Croshin back out. Oof, giving it block, pretty good. Yeah, Kindolf ramps up quick. It does not take much effort to get him to like scream past Chrism's 8 power. So where's this Trossum gonna go? Yeah, that seems. I think that's a good play. Or you play it with the Chrism. You might play with the Chrism, honestly. I was gonna go for the empty field instead. All right, let's see what they're playing this round. What do we got? Wow, he's flipping like crazy. Oh, field one. All right, so it's a good thing he did not put the Trossum up there. Good call. Good call. Well, went for that wider field coverage. Hey, David, welcome. Hey, you guys are beating back up. Yeah, a lot of the people that have been like kind of sticking with us for a while, that have been playing on the Tabletopia for Matt for a long time, are really wanting it as in person, just because they've played on it for so much time. Oh, we're seeing a second warder come down. So gets rid of the debut or ongoing. He's got the Guardians though, so gonna turn off the debut of the Croshin for whatever that's worth. But it is a big 5 power, so that makes sense. And then using that Sylph Amulet then to move the Kindolf. So good. And it's such a good support for this deck. Yeah, because you've got the big powerhouse Might creature, and just being able to slide it over is so good. Yeah, I love doing the arena stuff. So in our lore book, actually, because of how they represent doing the 3 different fields, like why are players bringing 2 fields? Like how do you like work that in? Well, each field that the players bring in the lore are basically kept inside these stones, and so then they basically toss the stones out, and it creates a like magical representation of a field that they've trained in and such like that. So having players having basically 2 different arenas is, in my mind, basically like them having their own, their geostones with their locations representing where they like to play. So I dig it. So we did debate that for a long time, David. about the art on the mats. I mean, it's not out of the question for like prizes, you know, for tournaments and stuff like that, having just like big art. But because our mats are like the extra large ones, they're pretty wide. Having like an image stretch there would be a little bit more difficult. So and but that's not to say we couldn't, you know, do multiple creatures on it and things like that. But the aesthetic of the arena just felt so good, you know. So it just felt like a better call and more unique, you know. We see the art mats all the time, so the arena just really makes sense for what we have in the lore. Like I said, we're pretty big at following the lore. The lore book is available as well in our Kickstarter. Yes, yes, just like that. So just going off of the Rapture here from when. Yeah, just going off those ongoings. Oh, Amtar might have gained that one earlier, though. Other friendly ally in this field +1 power. I'm glad you guys like the fields for the game mats. I think they've been pretty positive so far. So, yay, good call on doing the arenas for sure. All right, so Simba. Oh, he's going for hidden powers here. Move from the creature and ignore Guardian K the opposing ally with the highest power in their field. Oof, wow. Yeah. It's the KO the warder. Oof. Yeah, +1 there. And then +2 power. So, yeah, that's he KO'd the 5, but then he gains 3 power. So, kind of scary. That's a big battle down there for that field. They're adding up 14, 16, 17 versus 14. The rulebook allows players to resolve ongoings powers as they choose. What advantage does this give gameplay wise? Was a struggle to balance or pretty easy? I mean, everything takes time to balance, right? We've actually been developing this game for 3 years. We had our initial launch for Foundations, which was kind of like our beta, so to speak, back in January of this year. So, we've been at it for a while, and things always change, but that's been pretty fundamental of not touching that. It's been more individual, of course, but yeah, the supports as well as the ongoings, you can pick the order there. It just creates more dynamic and fun play patterns. Honestly, you can do way more interesting things rather than being stuck to like a mandatory. You have to do this, then this, then this. So yeah, it's just so much more fun when you can just kind of pick the order and just do way more interesting things. So we see a Skyer coming down here. So he's going to use that debut, shuffle 2 opposing ally cards in their owner's deck, or return an opposing familiar back to their bench. Big swing there. Big swing. So now he's in control of both of these fields. Simba is in a very, very powerful position right now. And especially because he played that with speed, so he can pass. And then Ride My Avatar doesn't even have any more resources. He does have the highest power creature, though, with that Rapture. So that's good. Yeah, the stack, I haven't done much Flesh and Blood. One of the guys on our dev team, he's done some Flesh and Blood, though. But the stack in Magic the Gathering gets pretty wild. Just how that whole interaction works. I mean, when you have to have a dissertation on how the stack works these days is pretty wild. Going for a sacrificial bond here on the Warder. That's, man, he must really want that resource. Dang. So giving all that power over to the Rapture. And then draws a card off of it. So it draws a card and gets the resource. So pretty good. Okay, and then he's going to pass. So field 2, pretty simple. No contest. Then this monstrosity. So it has +3 power. Golly. And Judge is stepping in here. So Rapture can only have +10 power. The most a creature can have is +10. So the highest the Rapture can ever be is a 14 power. So 14, 18. And then 14, 17, 18. Yeah. So he still manages to win the field, but ooh, wow, by 1. Very close. Yeah. So the only creature I think that can like kind of sort of overwrite that is the Enchantress, and that is just because his power is his star, right? He's got a little symbol there. That is equal to the number of resources you have. So if you only have 1 resource, of course, he's just a 1 power, but you can still give him plus power on top of that. So just a little, he's just a little oddball, but I love the Walrus. You put him in a deck with a lot of ramp, and he's just wild. He is a scary, scary guy. Okay, so it looks like Trossum going up to Crag this time. Trying to spread those mirror images out a little bit more. His field 3 is getting pretty clogged there. Did forget to do the resource right quick. I've been playing this game for 2 years, and I'll still sometimes forget to do that. You just get so gung-ho to like start playing the round. Momentum shift, though, from Ride My Avatar. Give a familiar block. He needed that. He needed that last round with the Skyer. But now that his Rapture is huge, his Rapture is +9 power now, really needed that momentum shift. Yeah, are the familiars in this tournament. I was honestly a little surprised it was as diverse as it was. Every single familiar that we have available is being represented in this tournament. Like, there's a couple that are like a few more than others. I think like maybe the Chrism is at like 3 out of 8, but everyone's secondaries I think are all different on those. So yeah, it's really awesome. Just the diversity is so great. Yeah, the extra large playmats are pretty nice. especially for this game, because you see how wide we can go at times. So like you can make it work on a smaller mat, but it is cramped. And there's a lot of overlap. So having the extra large ones, oh, it's so nice. If you don't feel claustrophobic. Yeah, my wife has a Digimon one that's extra large, and it's got like all the evolutions of her favorite Digimon on it. So it's just when you have that many creatures on one mat, like for it to be an extra large is almost a must, right? And gives everyone room to like show off, their looks. And then just clarifying that the high wind fall here. So technically, the Rapture can qualify for this and technically receive it, but it just won't go up any higher. So it doesn't like resort to the second highest or anything like that. Yeah, the series model is so nice. The because people like to keep things fresh, right? But no one likes to have to invest in a huge 100 to 200 card set every 2 to 3 months. Like that's brutal on the wallet. I mean, I've been playing TCGs for like 20 years now, something like that, since the early 2000s, and yeah, there's just no way. And so the series just allowing the game to continue to stay fresh and to change up strategies, change up the air quotes meta that there might have developed amongst players. Just keeping all that fresh is so great. And for slow it down, the field worth the most VP is inactive. Ooh, and wow, both familiars in that field. So that's pretty brutal. But yeah, each of our series from 1 to 6, they're only 22 cards, so you don't need to buy like a tremendous amount, right? You can just uh, get one booster bundle. I said the right word this time. You get one booster bundle and be pretty content with that. Unless you want to really be the high rarity hunter, then you go for more, of course. Right? Who wouldn't want to? We do have physical art fields, actually. Um, I don't know if I can show off one. It was available for a while, but our art director actually made a full size, large canvas of this canyon full of flowers and like hand painted all of it. So, like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I actually have one physical card of it, but we ended up having to push its release back a little bit just because it was a little too powerful for what we had. Ooh, Ballast Whistle. So look at top five. Play 2 ally cards up to a combined 6 power. Right, my avatar is. He's like, what 3 power? He's like, he thinks it's so good. You've never whiffed, that's for sure. Yeah, he's like, no way. Why is it so cheap? Um, I've whiffed on this card so many times. Like, if you can't play two of the same cards, like that's gonna hurt. I've revealed, you know, like 2 of the same ally, and then like 3 tamer cards, right? Or 4 tamer cards and 1 ally, and I'm like, okay, well, I paid 3 to play a 1-cost ally. Like, that feels bad. So it's a, yeah, it's a gamble card for sure. Let's see, how many is it? Let me pull up my calculator right quick. All right, so 22 cards in series 1 through 6. So let's 22 times 6 is 132, and then plus, I believe, 42. I want to say it's 42 for set 0. So 174, roughly. Not including, I don't think, tokens and things like that. So set 1, yeah, 22. So each set, so set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 22 cards. So you don't need a ton of packs there. Set 0, though, we wanted to give people the chance to, if you want to build mono, right, mono of a single style, we want to give you enough cards to be able to do that and, you know, make it give you decisions, right? Otherwise, then you're going to be playing mono, and it's like, I have to play every single card in this style, and it can barely qualify. So we wanted to give you a little bit more deck building possibilities, even when building mono. So that's why set 0 is bigger than all the other sets. So forever moving forward, the sets will be just 22 cards. Or, sorry, the series will be 22 moving forward. Oh yeah, the fields as physical art prints. Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to see that as well. I know we've talked about actually giving away a couple arts, not prints, but the originals. We want to hold some like contests and things like that in our Discord. So if you guys haven't joined the Discord, definitely do that. But in the future, and we'll of course announce it like everywhere on all of our socials and things like that. But yeah, giving away the original physical arts of some of these fields, as well as some of the cards. So it will feature physical art. So if you watch one of our recent videos, we did the cave painting series. That is one of the tiers. It is a very high tier. And then we've got some watercolors as well of familiars that are going to be physical art in the campaign. And then they're just discussing the crag on, I don't know if it'll let me. There we go. Yeah, 2 or less ally cards cannot be played in this field. How does that work with Trossum? Play 1 mirror image token in a different field. And then mirror image has a 0 cost. So, and it is being played. So yeah, you cannot play mirror images off the Trossum into the crag because it's still playing, and their cost is 0. And yeah, they're asking about if the field is inactive, is the effect still in effect? Yes, it is. We actually saw this come up in a game the other day. It was Sumner Peaks. When you win this field, you give an ally +3 power. Well, if that field is inactive, can you still win it? Yes, you can still win it, even if it's an inactive field, and give that +3 power. You're just not going to win victory points. So yeah, the judges cards, they just prevent scoring of VP, but everything else you're still winning fields, winning and losing. We're seeing the Vortnail come down. Looks like he's kind of abandoning field 3 this time around, just going for the split. So he gets to play a free mirror image. Play 1 mirror image token. Oh, we're still resolving Ballast Whistle. Wow. Crazy. In Series 0, yes. Special attack and mirror image, there is a... yeah. There is a token slot. So, when we don't want it to, you know, nothing feels bad like, oh, I pulled a foil, because you can get foils of our tokens as well, but they do not take up the foil slot or the alternate art slot. So if you get a foil token, it will be in the token slot still. So, which I love that. That feels so like consumer friendly to me. Because yeah, I've opened a few. Like I'm like, oh, that kind of feels bad. My foil slot and my alternate art slot was a token, and it was a token of something I would never use. All right, finally seen the end of that. So, yeah, and this was exactly what I was talking about. Like, it's such a feel bad on the whistle. You 3 cost and you played a 1 cost ally off of it. Like, yeah, it's balanced. It's not quite as busted. It can be pretty cracked when you just reveal the perfect stuff, but also it can be a huge letdown. So, wow, another Pakera. Nope. Pay, play, trigger. So yeah, you got to do the debut before you can use a support or an ongoing, because he wants to use the Sylph Amulet to move it. But does get his Kindolf over, so, which is probably more important than moving the Bakera. Alternate arts also for tokens will go in the token slot. Like, we're very adamant about not wanting to, you know, your Illustrator rare slot being taken up by a token. So, no need to worry. And hey, if you open, you know, a foil or alternate art token and Illustrator rare all in the same pack, or even better, an alpha, golly, the God pack, right? Right. See, I'm telling you, we want to make this as consumers friendly as possible. For an indie TCG, you can't really compete, and at least from our point of view, it's hard to compete with the big games out there. So we're not trying to like steal you away from your primary game or anything like that, especially financially, because like it's hard to do that as an indie TCG. So we want to be as consumer friendly as possible wherever possible. Interesting. So KO a creature in this field with equal or less power, then Aaron gains +1 power. So he's actually going to eat his own mirror image, which will actually free up his field a little bit, which he needed. He's not going to lose any power. He still has the Crocian for Guardian. So not bad, not bad. A way to get 3 extra power here. And it doesn't feed his Rapture, because his Rapture is already full. And then, yeah, Amtar's ongoing is for friendly only, so... Alright, so Kindolf is at 14 versus 6-7. So he'll take 3 there. David, no. Sorry. you can have an alternate art and also a of any card in the set can have an alternate art, foil, one of those, and then you can have a foil or alternate art token potentially. Yes, yes. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. The special attack ones. The special attack ones are cool too. They're just very pretty. Like this in foil. I can't wait to see this in foil. I'm going for strength training here. Again, we talked about it earlier. My favorite play with the Gandalf. Basically makes it a +3 power and a draw on a 0 cost when you combine it with a Gandalf. Yep. Yeah, the airing is nice. I like the flexibility of it. It's not just opposing either. It can be your own. So just like he did, it's like my field's getting clogged. I'm just going to KO this one, power creature, and I'm going to gain 1 power. So it's like you don't even have to worry about losing. And yeah, I say clogged because you can only have 4 creatures in each field at a time. Oh, they both played airing. Wow. Nice. So we're seeing the gel ice. I love the gel ice, especially late game. Simba only has 2 cards in hand, so this is really, really nuts. Choose an opponent, take a random card from their hand. Like, oh gosh. Yeah, because it doesn't say, it doesn't specify opposing or friendly here. So, and it's creature, by the way. It's not ally. So in the event your opponent plays a 3-cost creature and hasn't powered them up, airing can KO the opposing familiar. So that would be, oh gosh. I know when there's a couple familiars in the future that are really, really good, but they start out pretty low. So an airing early game is so good against those players. Yep, exactly. Yeah, I think the Allusion is the only 3 we have right now, but there are more in the future. So it's pretty crazy. Well, I mean, who knows? Same with you don't know what you're gonna see, right? You don't know what you're gonna play against. So right now we have, what is it, 12 familiars or 16? 16 familiars, I think, is what we have, and 16 or 12. One of the two. It might be 12. 16. No, 12. I couldn't tell you right now. Yeah, I think it's 12. But you never know what you're going to play against. So 1 out of 12 chance you can be that illusion. So, all right, and that's the end of the game there. So, 14-16. Wow, Ride My Avatar came back. That it won both fields there at the end for that +6 was a big jump there. So wow. Nice comeback because yeah, he was getting real behind there for a minute. So that was a great comeback on Ride My Avatar's side. All right, so good job, Ride My Avatar. And again, if you haven't checked theirs out, they'll be posting their videos later on this week, so you can see like their point of view. You can get the match commentary from inside the game, from between the 2 players and the judge when needed. So yeah, very cool. I hope you guys enjoy. Again, we'll be back tomorrow night, I believe 6:30 Central, we have another match. So from the tournament. So if you want to catch that out, definitely come back tomorrow night. We're going to be streaming again. So we also have community night tomorrow night. So if you want to come in and play some games of Tabletopia, it is completely free. Tabletopia, you just need an account and you can come in and play. We'll have community night, so you can come play with the developers or anyone else in the community that you want to play. You want to play me? Let me know. We start at 7 Central Time, and we go till 9 at minimum, right? If we have people here and we want to keep playing, we can keep playing later into the night. Not a big deal. So yeah, feel free to come do that, or just come hang out, ask questions, or if you just want to kind of watch other people play, you're more than welcome to spectate as well. Yeah, you too, Curtis. Yeah, self KO with ferocity. Self KO is super popular. Like one of the things that I've been doing lately is self KOing with my Amptar. KO, gain 1 VP, and give a friendly creature in the field Amptar was in +1 power. You combine that with the Trossum. Each round, when your first non-token ally is KO'd, put them into your hand instead. So you're just like self KO, bounce to hand, play it again, self KO. You can only do the Trossum bounce to hand once per turn, but like that self KO is really great. And they're just talking about this feel like a long game, and it was, but it also depends on the players. Like the more and more experience you get, the faster you get. Like me and or Chris and I, when we play on live stream, we can knock out 3 games in an hour. So it just kind of depends on the players. Also, using Tabletopia like slows you down so much. Like having to move the little power tokens and then click them to move the power up and things like that. Trying to figure out how to put a card to the bottom of your deck, like it just takes some time. Yep. Yep. The self K. Yeah. I used a lot of Might Ferocity for a long time. I thought it was a really fun, like just like the beefcakes just showing up, right? Um, but then I started playing some special in tactics. I was like, oh, I'm bringing the little guys, and I was still winning with the little guys. So I'm like, oh my gosh, the balance is so good because the little guys, like their familiars are smaller than the mites, and especially the mites, and then even the ferocities. So yeah, there's a couple KO effects in ferocity. So, and there's a couple as well in might. So, like when it comes to self KO, like there's some pretty solid strategies you can do there. There's also in ferocity a support card that when you use it, you can self KO to give a familiar +2 power. So, yeah, they're self KO decks actually pretty fun. All right. Well, with that, I guess we will see you guys hopefully tomorrow night. Feel free to jump in anytime. We're going to be streaming every single day until Tuesday. So, yeah, be ready for launch on Tuesday. Really excited for it. What is my favorite Might Ferocity Familiars to run? What he's got going on right here, actually. Kindolf. I love the Kindolf. I don't have my camera on right now, but like I have a Arcanine blanket as well as a Growlithe plush. So like Fire Dogs are my jam. But this is also just a really good card. I'm a big fan of it. The draw in Might is really good because there's not a ton of draw, so having that is great. And then the flexibility of the Rapture. I don't necessarily need to build a whole strategy around using Rapture. I can just slam this dude down every single round and eat something, right? And gain power, remove power off my opponent's board. You think about hitting like a 1-cost 3-power creature and then you gain 1 power. That's a 4-power swing off of this familiar. So I like that for the board control. every once in a while you'll have a game where your opponent just doesn't play a whole lot of one costers, though. So then he really fizzles in those situations. But then you can also do the self KO, right? So if you bring a little bit of self KO, even if your opponent isn't playing into your Rapture, you just play into your own Rapture, right? So that flexibility there is really, really good. But yeah, that's my favorite combos. Chrism's really good, but he's a little bit too simple for me. Just he gains block and he can't be KO'd. So, and he starts out at 8. So like that first round, wherever Chrism goes, round 1, if that field is active, he's gonna win it. Like pretty much 9 times out of 10. And they're still, yeah, they're chatting it up there. So hopefully they include all this chatting in their content, in their videos later on. Love some dev talk. Yeah, no problem, Curtis. You have a good night too. Happy to have you here, buddy. All right. Well, with that, I will catch everyone tomorrow night. Have a good one.